by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor?
Aye.
We have any additions to the agenda this evening. Posted as ordinance number 1429 will be a ordinance amending Chapter 75, Section 9 to the Borough Code regarding police promotions. May I have a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance will be posted for a first reading this evening, followed by a second reading at our next meeting. At this time, Sue, can you start the review of consent agenda?
All items with an asterisk are considered to be non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There may be further discussion prior to the vote upon request of a member of the public or council member. Also, any item may be removed for further discussion or for roll call vote, in which case the item will be removed and considered in its own sequence as part of the general order of business.
Thank you. Sue, if you could read through the resolution.
1179, approval of Nature's Choice for vegetative waste disposal for 2011. 1180, authorization of agreement with Goes for digital meter system, $211 per month. 1181, approval of purchase of new server through New Jersey State contract, $4,482. 1182 is non-consent. 1183, approval of Knights of Columbus Fund Drive to be held April 30th and May 1st, 2011. 1184, approval of Celebrate School PTO on-premise merchandise raffle to be held April 29th, 2011. ID number 109-5-37089, RL number 336. 1185, Dorothy Constantino, approval of Dixon Homestead Library trustee. 1186, Charlotte Tobias, reappointment to the Board of Health. 1187, Sam Zimmerman, approval of Eagle Scout project. 1188, bills list. 1189, emergency appropriation due to February 6, 2011 sewer main break at Veterans Plaza, $13,773.51. 1190, approval of Elks Club Shake the Can fundraiser, May 21st, 2011. 1191, approval of live entertainment request from Frontier Room for March 19, 2011. 1192, authorization of execution of Mariners Bank wire transfer agreement. 1193, approval of purchase of 2 computers through state contract, $1,100.10. 1194, approval of 2011 temporary budget amendment. 1195, request approval to establish dedicated trust by rider for snow removal. 1196, authorization of transfer of 2010 appropriations. 1197, award of bid specific wireless communications tower lease rights assignment upon borough owned monopole at Borough Hall. So we have 1198. Wireless.
Statute protocol for refreshing standard and oil bar.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
1198 was the establishment of protocol for the refreshing stand at Memorial Park.
Correct. Thank you, Sue. Can I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Stiliano. Any discussion at this time? Can I have a motion to open up to the public on the consent agenda?
Second.
Offered by Councilman Manna, seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you wish to address the consent agenda only, I ask that you step forward and state your name and address.
Hi, Chairman, Amy T. Political. My question is on Resolution 1181, approval purchase of new server through New Jersey State contract. Let's find out what is the age of the current unit.
I'm going to say it's at least 5 years old. It was here before we were here. More than that? So I've been here 5 years. Been here long before us. We've had a number of issues with it going down. We've come in early in the morning. It's been down overnight. In the middle of the day, it's gone down. The recommendation of our IT person was to replace it before we had a major failure.
May I ask what the server is used for?
used for our computer system.
Is it a file server, is it a print server, what kind of server is it?
It's a file server.
Okay, the reason why I ask is that $4,400 can buy a lot of servers. Alright,
We'll get the specs for you so you can see what we have.
I will be filing a protest. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time? Have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second by Carrick, seconded by Freeman, all in favor? Any further discussion on the motion on the consent agenda, offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Stiliano? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilmembers Carroll,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Manning.
Yes.
Juliana.
Yes.
Vanchempath.
Yes.
Thanks. Can I have a motion on resolution 11-82, the reappointment of Larry Baumgart as recycling coordinator?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Freeman. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, can I have a motion to open up to the public on resolution 1182 only?
So moved.
Stiliano, seconded by Councilman Carrick, all in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? At this time, if you'd like to address resolution 1182, please step forward and state your name and address for the record. Seeing and hearing no one, can I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Freeman, all in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussion on the resolution? Hearing and seeing none, can I have a roll call vote?
Councilmembers Carroll,
Yes.
Casper,
No.
Freeman,
Yes.
Manning,
Yes.
Juliana.
Yes.
Vanchempath.
Yes.
We have 3 ordinances up this evening, one for a second reading and 2 for first reading. Second reading of ordinance number 1427, an ordinance amending chapter 36, Fire Department of the Dumont Code. Can I have a motion to waive formal reading?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Stiliano,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion from the council at this time? Seeing and hearing none, can I have a motion to open up to the public?
So moved.
Second. Offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Freeman. We are now open up to the public on ordinance number 1427. If you'd like to address this ordinance, please step forward and state your name and address for the record. Seeing and hearing no one, can I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second. Offered by Councilman Stiliano, seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor? Can I have a motion to adopt on second reading?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Zemchensky, seconded by Councilman Freeman. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmembers Carroll,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Manning.
Yes.
Juliana.
Yes.
Vanchempath.
Yes.
First reading, ordinance number 1429, calendar year 2011, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a capital, 1428. Can I have a motion to waive formal reading?
So moved.
Second. Offered by Councilman Zemchensky, seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor? Any discussion from the council? Hearing and seeing none, can I have a motion to adopt on first reading?
So moved.
Second. Offered by Councilman Carrick, seconded by Councilman Freeman. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmembers Carroll,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Manning,
Yes.
Juliana.
Yes.
Vanchempath.
Yes.
First reading on ordinance number 1429. Ordinance number 1429, amendment to chapter 75, section 9 of the Borough Code regarding police promotions. Can I have a motion to waive formal reading?
So moved.
Second. Offered by Councilman Zemchensky, seconded by Councilman Freeman. All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Discussion from the council. Sorry about that, Carl. Discussion from the council.
Yes, my name is Mayor.
Sure.
This ordinance 75-9 was instituted to protect the borough from lawsuits and provide appoint the police officers who are looking for promotions with a balanced and non-subjective arena in which to take these promotion tests and move on. What has transpired over the last 36 hours is a flood of paper from our borough attorney, and so at this point you know, we were revising this document as we were going through it. I think that there's a big rush to get this done tonight. I think that it'd be prudent that we take our time and see the finished product before we move it. The issue at hand here is this 75-9 was instituted because of a lawsuit against the borough by a police officer of the borough of Dumont. This 75-9, as it stands today, was fashioned with the help of a Superior Court judge. So to rush into this without a final document that's been edited and provided to this council in a timely fashion, I think is asking a lot. I understand that we do need supervisors. We went to the 12-hour shift. We had 2 officers retired. So I'm well aware of what the needs of this borough is. But I also think that rushing this before we get to see the final product is something that we should really consider. Because I don't want to see this borough put in a situation where we wind up where we were a couple of years ago and we have to defend against litigation for partiality and the like. That's what I have to say, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, thank you everyone for your patience tonight. I'd like to thank PBA for getting 33 signatures. This was pretty much that everyone agreed with changing the ordinance with the taking away the written test. That was a component that was omitted from the new ordinance, and the letter that we received from your attorney talking about any form of litigation from the police, from the process and from the results. And I also just wanted on record that the police have agreed to, the police who were promoted, the 4 promotions, will take a 0% increase until January 2012. We really appreciate that. We know that you know what's going on with the budget, and thank you for that. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Stiliano.
Yeah, and just for the record, and I understand and appreciate Councilman Mana's desire to insulate the borough from litigation, but I don't want anyone in this room walking away with the impression that we bulldozed this. This process started probably a year ago, and what you see today is the culmination of hundreds of man-hours, meetings, back and forth, in an attempt to reach common ground with the PBA. So this didn't literally happen over the last 36 or 48 hours. This process started a long time ago. There were discussions, there were proposals, there were counter-proposals, and again, just to echo what Councilwoman Zimmerchansky said, concessions were made, representations were made by the PBA to get us to this point.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just as a comment as an administrator, we're very much aware, and I'm very much aware of speaking to supervisors and chiefs and members of the PBA about the needs of the police department for supervision. I got to tell you that in putting this whole thing together, and I know it's been done around the county, but for the PBA to agree, for all the membership to agree, that the promotions would go along with not accepting a raise until the beginning of next year, impressed me a lot. We are in dire straits, and that will be reported in a little while with regards to our budget. Councilman Freeman will bring everybody up to date. We are looking at incredible numbers as a result of some of the issues that the governor's taken up. And that was brought to the attention of the PBA. So as an administrator and one of the people on the finance committee, for you to agree to do that, I really appreciate it. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else from the governing body?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplan.
I didn't feel rushed in this one, although about 6 months ago I felt rushed into an ordinance. But this one I did, and I felt I knew every part of it that was gonna happen. I think it's gonna benefit the borough in every way, and we are guarded in everything that was said by our lawyer tonight, in that meeting in there. So on this one, I didn't feel rushed. I thought it was important that we do give our officers the promotions they deserve right now, and I think the process is fair.
Thank you, Mr. Kessler. I too would like to thank everyone's participation. I know we're here a lot longer than we normally are, but certainly when two parties can come together and have an agreement, it's a testament to not only what we do as individuals, but as a working organization. So thank you. Have a motion to adopt on first reading, offered by Carrot, seconded by Freeman. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmembers Carrot,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Manna,
Abstain.
Siliano,
Yes.
Vanchansky.
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the budget. Ordinance number, general order of business, resolution 1199, introduction of the 2011 municipal budget. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Offered by Councilman Manna, second by Councilman Freeman. Any discussion from the governing body at this time?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to apprise the council and the folks that are here at the meeting of the situation that we're in. Basically, when we started out this process, we were $700,000 above what was deemed the 2% cap. What people don't realize about the 2% cap is it doesn't mean that your taxes are only going to go up 2%, because there's 3.5% that is actually outside of the cap, which includes debt service, pension costs, healthcare costs, etc. So even if we get to this 2% cap, which would require us decreasing the current budget by $422,000, we would still have another $814,000 to go to get to a zero. Right now, as it currently stands, the increase per household at a $382,000 assessed value is $228. The current issue that we're running into is we've cut everything that we can cut from the budget. The 2% cap is only $303,000. So when you look at some of the increases that go into that, health insurance went up $232,000. So we would have to somehow find a way to get rid of that after the $422,000 just to get to the cap. Pensions increased by $227,000. Wage increases are about $480,000. The punchline is basically to get any further beyond where we're currently at, we seriously have to consider the potential for layoffs of borough employees. It's not something that anybody wants to do, but we just don't have any other means by which to decrease this number. I've literally gone through every possibility with everyone out there, and you know, when you have costs that are rising faster than you can cut them, you know, pension increases of upwards of 20-some-odd%, health insurance increases of mid-teens percentage-wise, you can't keep cutting into the budget and expect to find, you know, like a golden ticket from Willy Wonka. It's not going to happen. So this is the situation that we're in, and we really seriously have to consider layoffs of borough employees as an alternative, because we simply just don't have any money from anywhere else at this point. I just want people to know that as we move forward through the process. That was one of the things that we have discussed as a council that we need to consider, and it's on the list of considerations. So it's not something that we want to do, but we're pretty limited at this point in terms of any sort of flexibility with the budget. And not only that, but at our current level, that's a $228 increase per household. That doesn't even include the increase as a result of the school budget, which is still in the process of being worked through. Even if we got to this 2% cap by some miracle that we found $422,000 somewhere, then we'd still be at a $153 per household increase. And again, that's based on the $382,000 assessed value. So we're in a pretty rough situation. You know, basically we started 700,000 behind the 8 ball before we even started this year. It was 500,000 last year. Next year, at the rate we're going, it very well could be upwards of $1 million. And I mean, we can barely deal with getting to the cap this year. I don't even want to imagine what next year would be like. So that's the current state of things. I'm sorry for the bad news, but you know, you see what's going on in Wisconsin and Ohio and, you know, all across the country. It's, you can't get blood from a stone, and we really are running out of the different options that we can go through. We're literally trying everything we possibly can, but we don't generate revenue as a town. So that's what I just want everybody to know. We're working day and night to figure out alternatives and what we can do, but I just wanted to let everybody know that that's one of our serious considerations, so that I'm being open and honest with everybody and there's no surprises as we go forward. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. When do you expect to have the hearing? As in?
It has to be advertised 28 days.
Okay.
So it would be probably the 2 weeks before the budget gets adopted, right? Or the week? It'd be the same day. Okay.
Alright, so we'll have a public
Yeah,
hearing.
we'll definitely announce that for sure. 28 days in between, yeah, okay.
Alright, so the public hearing on the budget then will be on the 19th of April. Okay. Any further discussion from the governing body? Can I have a roll call?
Do we have a motion?
Yep. Madam
Councilmembers Carrot,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Manna, Siciliano,
Yes.
Vanacek.
Yes.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Councilman Carrick, Councilman Freeman, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.